In this video, we'll walk through how to utilize discounted monthly and prepay care packages using fee schedules. If you decide to use fee schedules in your office, you will first need to build the fee schedule themselves at the system level by navigating to System Settings, Fee Schedules. In this video, I've already pre-built a few, so now I'm going to walk you through how to attach them to a patient's case when they sign up for care, and how to set a frequency for certain services included in that care package. Now I'm going to navigate to our test network so you can see how it works. We're going to start with the prepay scenario first. Let's say my prepay test patient signs up for a 12-visit care plan totaling a discounted rate of $600. Usually our adjustment rate is $90 an adjustment, but since they're prepaying for care, we want the system to charge a discounted rate of $50 an adjustment. We're going to start by processing their prepayment of $600. I'm going to click on the patient and take their payment. Click on the transaction button, click on the payment button. And in this field, we always encourage offices to add context to the payment itself. So in this scenario, again, we said a 12-visit prepay. I'm also going to put in here the total package fee. I'm going to change the payment type since I don't have a live merchant service provider connected. And again, we said it was a $600 prepay package. I'm going to click Submit. And let's look to see what it looks like on the patient's ledger. Now you can see the description of the payment itself and that this patient has a $600 credit on their account. Next, we need to teach the system what discounted rate to apply as services are rendered. We're going to navigate to the patient's case, Default Charges tab. This is where we tell the system what fee schedule to attach in the fee schedule section here, and if needed, what frequency to apply those services. So first, we're going to attach the fee schedule. I'm going to attach the 12-visit prepay, and if you did watch the previous video on how to actually create the fee schedule, you can see here why the description itself is so important. It makes for easy picking. And I'm going to save the changes. Attaching the fee schedule tells the system that anytime one of the discounted care package services is added to the patient's ledger, it will automatically apply the discount. So by attaching the fee schedule, the system will know that when that patient has an adjustment 3 to 4 regions charge added to their ledger, it will charge 50 instead of 90. Some offices will just stop here. However, we do recommend letting the system do some additional work for you by adding one more quick step upon the patient's sign up for care. It is very common for patients to get adjusted at every visit when on a care package. And because of this, some offices prefer the system to automatically apply that adjustment for them, saving both the doctor and front desk time. If you'd like the system to automatically apply the discounted service for you, you can search for the service and set the charge frequency to every visit. So I'm going to pick the adjustment 3 to 4 regions. You can see here that this is being controlled by the fee schedule. It's usually 90, but we're writing off 40, so it will only charge $50 per adjustment. And here is where we want to tell the system to charge this at every visit. I'm going to save the changes. This means that the system will automatically apply this service at every visit at the set discounted rate in the fee schedule. Super fast and super easy. So now we're going to check the patient in. And I'm actually going to refresh my browser, which is a good thing to do after you make some pretty big changes to a patient's account. And now we're going to manually check this patient in. I'm going to navigate to the SOAP note screen and pretend like I'm a provider here for just a moment. You'll see that the patient is in queue. I'm going to click on the patient, go to my notes section, and you will see that the system automatically applied that adjustment charge for me. I do still, however, need to do a SOAP note. So I'm just going to enter a little bit of information here and hit submit. Now we're going to go back to the home screen and take a look at what it looks like on the patient's ledger. Now you can see that the credit has decreased by the cost of the discounted adjustment automatically. So as the patient continues to come in for care, the credit will continue to whittle down. And at the completion of the care package, services rendered will equal services paid, therefore balancing out to zero. So that is how a prepay will work. Now we're going to take a look at our monthly example. Monthly auto debit care packages will essentially work the exact same way as the prepay. The only difference is that payments will come in phases versus all at once. So the ledger may show a credit or a balance due at any given time, depending on when that auto debit runs. So let's say this patient, this monthly auto debit patient, is signing up for care and is paying their first monthly installment today. Same example though, $600 care package of 12 visits, but instead of paying the $600 up front, they're just going to pay their first installment of $200. I'm going to make sure I'm on the appropriate patient. Click on transaction, payment. Again, we want to add as much context as possible. I'm going to change this to cash, and I'm going to process the first, payment of $200. You see here that the credit is now applied. It's just a smaller credit because they've only done one installment thus far. Now we will again need to attach the fee schedule so the system knows what discounted rate to apply. And I'm also going to add the service itself so I can tell the system to automatically apply that rate at every visit. Now I'm going to navigate to the case and the default charges tab. Here I'm going to add my 12 visit monthly cash fee schedule. And then I'm also going to add the service. You can see here again that the fee is controlled by the fee schedule, and my charge frequency is now at every visit. I'm going to save those changes, and I'm going to do a hard refresh so I can make sure everything is set for this patient. So let's check this patient in and see essentially the same process, but with a slightly different look on the ledger. I'm going to manually arrive this patient, navigate to my SOAP note screen. You can see that the patient is in fact in queue. I'm going to navigate to the Notes tab. My charge automatically applied, which is magical and time-saving. I'm going to enter a quick note. Oh, I picked a long one. That was a bad idea. Sorry. I'm going to hit Submit. And now I'm going to go back to my home screen to look to see what it looks like on the patient's ledger. Going to go to their ledger, also called the transaction history. This time, the only difference is that my credit is a little bit smaller since they didn't prepay for the whole package. Now, for speed's sake, I'm just going to make a couple extra adjustments here just so you can kind of see how the ledger continues to change. I'm going to do a couple more adjustments. You don't need to worry about doing this. This is not something you would typically do, but I just want you to see what it will look like. So now you see the patient has a smaller credit and perhaps that next payment goes through of $200. Refresh it. So now, again, the credit kind of whittled back up. So again, at any given period of time, there may be a credit or a balance, but if you've done your math correctly, at the end of care, services will equal services paid, and the ledger will balance out to zero. So that is how you use fee schedules for discounted care packages.